Before we continue with this video, let's bring in the press conference of Coach Filipe Luis and also the press conference of the Cruz Azul coach, man. He praised Flamengo a lot, the Cruz Azul coach. I'm going to bring you some very important information here. Actually, there are 3 pieces of information, 3 or 4 important things here. Remember that I'll leave the QR code for the million picks on the screen, the benefit code for you to get products, experiences, and more. And you still get to participate in prizes, man. There are 3 prizes of 1 million. Until the 31st, there's the New Year's prize and another prize of 2 million raised on January 2nd. So these are amazing prizes, and you still have the chance to win up to 100,000 Rees in instant prizes. Scratch and win, the money goes straight to your Pix account. All other sponsors are in the pinned comment. I've won, you've won, I'm winning. With Mango, we're winning a lot, so we're always leaving the link to I Won highlighted in the stories and in the Instagram bio. And always bringing everything from our sponsors to you. By the way, you guys know that I lost 74 kilos at Mais Cabello. I'll also leave the QR code here so you can get your free evaluation too. Get to know Mais Cabello. There's always a Mais Cabello near you. The QR code will be here so you can contact Mais Cabello to take advantage of the promotions and everything else. Let's go. The important information is that Flamengo is the South American Football Confederation club with the most wins in the Club World Cup. That's 6 wins in 10 games. Incredible, right? Flamengo has 6 wins in 10 games. Santos has 5 wins in 7. Penharol has 5 in 9. São Paulo has 4 in 4. Very well, won them all, but participated much less. Corinthians has 4 in 6. Flamengo, according to the R10 score making history, is the South American team with the most wins in the Club World Cup. Flamengo, man, racking up too many titles. Flamengo is the first South American champion in history from South American Football Confederation of the Derby of the Americas. We also have some other important information to share with you. Regarding the goalkeeper situation here, right? That Flamengo will have 1 less goalkeeper for the rest of the competition. If Flamengo, I won't even say it because I don't have any wood to knock on here. Flamengo can't have a goalkeeper get injured. Otherwise, Flamengo will be left without a backup. Flamengo has Diogo Alves, right? Excellent kid from the youth academy, played against Mirassol, did really well. He's very good. But Matheus Cunha has been cleared, right? He's coming back to Brazil, 1:30 in the morning from Qatar. Flamengo released him to be there for the birth of his first child. Who just had a child recently, about a week ago. So we know very well how magical that moment is. My wife is looking at me right now because at first I complained. I said, man, Flamengo is going to be without a goalkeeper. He can't get injured. But it's because, man, it's a position. It's not a defender or a midfielder. It's a complicated position, you know. But it's all right. Then she said to me, come on, Gabriel. It's a special moment, for God's sake. And I said, okay, all right. Remember that Matheus Cunha is going to Cruzeiro at the end of the year. He already has a pre-contract. This is the last moment. It's Matheus Cunha's farewell, right? He won't play for Flamengo anymore, so he's going to Rio de Janeiro, heading out to be there for the birth of his first child, okay? And now Flamengo will have Diogo Alves as Agostinho Rossi's backup, right? Flamengo's statement says the following: goalkeeper Matheus Cunha will return to Brazil early Thursday for the birth of his first child. The return flight is scheduled for 1:30 ante Meridium local time in Doha. Since it's not possible to register new athletes, no player will be called up as a replacement. Let me also mention the prize money that Flamengo received, right? Flamengo has now reached 11 million Rees in prize money by advancing to the Derby semi-final, right? Advancing through the Derby of the Americas to the Club World Cup semi-final. So Flamengo already has fuller coffers. They've earned 11 million Reais, $2 million, right? With this qualification for the Club World Cup semi-final, now they face Pyramids, right? This Saturday at 2 p.m., they're competing for a spot in the final and another title, right? It's Filipe Luis's 7th title with Flamengo, and it's the 6th title in 2025. Don't lose track of Flamengo's titles with Filipe Luis. Copa do Brasil, Supercopa do Brasil, Carioca, Libertadores, Brasileiro, Derby of the Americas, and if you keep counting, they could win the Challenger Cup, Club World Cup, Intercontinental, right? They could win both the Recopa and Supercopa. All that by February. Then after that, there's the Carioca and the Brasileiro again, but 10 titles can be achieved by February. Now, here's the press conference with Coach Filipe Luis, and also the part where the Cruz Azul coach talks about Flamengo.
Filipe, good evening. Monique Danielu, TNT Sports. Yesterday, you already anticipated with us here that it would be a tough game, right? Because of the way Cruz Azul plays. And we saw Flamengo playing two very different halves, right? They struggled in the first half, but adjusted and controlled the ball better in the second. I'd like you to share your analysis with us. What do you think was the biggest difficulty in the first half? Because it felt like the team was a bit boxed in. What did you change to help Flamengo regain possession and improve in the second half? Thanks.
Well, first, the quality of the opponent. A team with a lot of quality, a team that tries to play. As I said before the game, in the preview here at the press conference, two teams with a very similar approach. They took more risks to the point of, in quotes, giving us a goal because of the excessive risk they took when playing out from the back. But that also meant they broke through our press a few times, and that pushed us back. After the goal, our team took a step back in terms of pressing, but mainly it was in the offensive phase. When we had the ball, we lost possession a lot, lost control, and even lost simple balls. That made it so that every time we lost possession, we spent 2 or 3 minutes chasing after the ball. That killed our attacking player, and our team suffered. We suffered a lot. Both our team and Cruz Azul are used to playing, creating plays, and defending with the ball at their feet. Then in the second half, after some internal and tactical adjustments, the team felt better, played better, and from there we found ourselves in the area where we feel comfortable. So we dominated the game, reached the opponent's box more easily, made them chase the ball, and that made the whole process easier. In the second half, we scored a well-deserved goal and had other chances. It reminded me of that 2019 match against Al Hilal. The first half was tough. We even lost it, but the second half went really well. Because it's not easy to win, it's not easy to always win. And Cruz Azul as well. There was a sequence of important moments in the season. Both teams were still mentally adapting to what the competition is. And it's a victory that I value a lot.
Filipe Luis Fernando Valek de Barros from Football. 2 questions. First, did the physical fatigue from the long season have any influence on today's game? And the second, after getting past the debut barrier, does the second game get a little better? Thank you.
We could talk about physical fatigue if the team had dropped off in the second half, but it was the opposite. They ran a lot in the second half. We saw players like Bruno Henrique, who is 35 years old. He keeps attacking and pressing. Until the end of the game, the team kept trying to attack and get into the opponent's box until the final whistle. Physically, on the contrary, like I said before, I see that our team is in great physical shape right now. And I forgot the other one. Well, every game is different. That's really what I'm feeling, that the players are adapting to the field, which is very fast. The ball is very smooth, slips easily, and speeds up a lot, so players are still adapting. With this ball, we saw several simple mistakes in control and passing, which the players are not used to making. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Ahmed Higazi, Independent Arabia. First of all, congratulations on the win. Of course, in 3 days, you have a match against the Egyptian team Pyramids. I'm sure you've watched the team and seen them. What's your assessment of Pyramids, especially since they're a team known for their physical strength and speed, and they have a great striker like Fiston Mayeli? I'm sure you've seen him.
And normally I start studying the opponent from tomorrow, speaking specifically about pyramids. But for a team to win the Goalie 3-1, it means they're a strong, solid team for sure. I've already asked my analysts for the information, and they said it's a team with very strong offensive power, a striker who attacks a lot of space, and a defensive phase with a lot of physical strength. So we have no doubt that to be a semi-finalist in the Intercontinental Championship, it's a very strong team.
Filipe, I was about to ask you about the pitch and the ball, since they really caught our attention, and some players commented about this difficulty. Is there any possibility, now that you know the training field and since you'll be playing here again, to try to anticipate anything? Maybe water the field more and cut the grass shorter if possible. That was a question, and quickly I wanted to know about the regulations. Do you know if the players who got a yellow card today, if they get another yellow against Pyramids, would they be out of a possible final? Is it because PSG is already in the final? Are there different yellow card rules? Do you know? Thanks.
Only the red cards were used. Yes, just the red ones. The yellow cards were like that. About the field, the grass at the training center is a bit different from the one at the stadium. This grass here is similar to the grass at Corinthians Field and Inter's Field. From Beira Rio, the best fields in Brazil and in the world, this grass here is European grass, but it's more about the ball. I feel like it's more about the ball. I felt that it slips a bit for players. When you step on the ball, it slides. And yes, we're going to try to do some types of training so the players can adapt faster to this situation. Because even the Libertadores ball is different from the Brazilian one. And the players end up adapting as they get more and more minutes with it. But that's not an excuse. Cruz Azul went through the same situation. So it's about really understanding what was done wrong and correcting it. I'm sure the players will feel better next game.
Filipe Simoledo from Coluna do Flamengo. My question, Flamengo's team often plays out from the back under pressure instead of just clearing the ball away, Bicão. Today, when Cruz Azul pressured the defender, he made a mistake and assisted the opponent. Do you see that as a normal part of the game? Do you tend to let it continue like that? Or is it something you demand from the players, especially in situations with more pressure? Like isolate the ball if necessary and don't try to get out of the play in a more technical way?
Flamengo doesn't always play short. They don't always try to play out from the back against the opponent. He chooses the type of pressing he wants to do, and every type of pressing creates spaces. So if you're going to press with man marking, for sure, the space isn't inside your own box, it's behind their defense. So the players have to identify where the space is and occupy the space well. That's my job. I try to pass that on to them, and when there isn't any space, the space is behind. Of course, we need players who can provide depth to try to beat the opponent's high press. In the executioner's play, it was just bad luck. He tried to clear the ball, but it stayed there. I appreciate his effort to defend in the box more than his poor clearance. So mistakes like that happen. I'm honestly very happy with the effort. His first quality is being a spectacular player. Every time he plays, he shows unique technical details, and above all, the way he's involved defensively is what pleases me the most. Those mistakes can happen. The only thing is that we have to be prepared so that if it happens one day, it doesn't end up in a goal. But the opponent also deserves credit. Scoring with a shot from outside the box is the opponent's merit.
Here's something to reassure everyone. Since everyone is always like this and probably has questions, you'll all get a chance to ask. Let's stay calm. It'll work out. Let's go.
Leticia Felipe, Leticia Marquez of GA. I wanted to discuss the lineup, which was very similar to what you used in both the Libertadores final and the match against Ceará in the Brazilian Championship. The only change is Leo Ortiz, right? He had been out for almost 2 months since he got injured. We talked to him in an exclusive interview this week, and he spoke a bit about how the injury got worse, which we've already discussed here at other times, and how he'll also need to readapt in case he feels any discomfort. Anyway, I wanted to know about your decision between Ortiz and Danilo. Was it for this lineup? The reason
Did you talk to Ortiz? Because I remember that in the Libertadores final, he mentioned that you two had a conversation and he told you about it, how he was feeling that he wasn't 100%. And I wanted to know regarding today, what was your decision? How did you make your decision? Sorry.
Hey, Michaela. My decision for today was that Ortiz is recovered. He played almost the entire season, played more than 50 games, had a spectacular season, just spectacular. Brazilian national team level, it was Leo Pereira, Leo Ortiz, along with the fullbacks and Danilo. They were the least scored on defense in the Brazilian championship across all competitions. It's a solid, very strong defense, and I believe that this was a game where Leo Ortiz deserved to play. Today's game, he's doing well, he came back from injury, he recovered, and I felt that this was a game for him. But the good thing is that Danilo is ready if he needs to come in, and if he needs to play the next game, he's available. Besides being a great leader and now an eternal idol after what happened in the Libertadores final, he's always there to help the team and the group.
Felipe. My name is Lino Sionati. I work with Lino Sionati Television from the West Africa channel. Your next game is against the Pyramids, the champions of Africa. They come from Egypt, and in the northern part of Africa, they play with more physicality and with more pace. Flamengo would love to have and keep possession of the ball more. How do you intend to neutralize these qualities that Pyramids possesses ahead of the game?
I only studied Cruz Azul until the moment I didn't study Pyramids much. From tomorrow on, I'm going to analyze all the games and try to build a game plan in defense and attack. And for sure, as I said before, for Pyramids to be in the Intercontinental semi-final, for sure, it's a huge club. They have a lot of players with a lot of quality. And also to win 3-1 against Al Ahly, that's because Pyramids is a very strong team, so all respect to them. And we try to study and give the best way for our players to understand the game.
Filipe Renato Senesa from ESPN Brazil. You mentioned Danilo, an eternal idol. I want to ask about Arrascaeta, because it's impressive what he's been doing for some years now at Flamengo. This season is his highest scoring ever, with 25 goals. Now, first, I wanted to ask you what role you think you had in his season. First, managing his playing time, then changing his position a little bit sometimes. And how happy are you to see him finish the year with the most special season of his career? And lastly, I wanted to ask you how it feels for you to play with the stadium a little emptier than Flamengo is used to. Just 7,000 people today.
The other day, Arrascaeta was there at the gym. He won all the well-deserved awards, and I told him, "You're welcome." You're welcome? No? But it's simple. It's his unique and total merit. He's a super focused, determined, and above all, ambitious guy. He always was. It's not that this year he was more ambitious. No, he has always been ambitious. This year, the whole team followed his ambition. He might be the most ambitious player on my team. He's the guy who wants more and more, wants to achieve, wants to win, doesn't stop there, wants to make history, wants to keep making history. He demands from everyone, demands from the club, demands from the staff, demands from his teammates. The credit is entirely his. I'm just fortunate to have witnessed his best season. It's about the strange, different crowd. Maybe there's some connection there with the ball slipping away. Maybe, let's see later in the videos, calmly. But the players are used to playing everywhere with the stadium full, everywhere, at home and away. So it's a shame.
Felipe. Good evening, Diego Pozzi, also on television. Congrats on the title. A title and qualification were on the line in the Derby of the Americas, another step toward a second World Championship. This is Flamengo's 5th World Cup, including the Mid-Year Club World Cup 81 2019, 22 mid-year, and in the United States. And now that you have 4 of them, 2 as a player and 2 as a coach, do you feel that this is the World Cup where the club arrives? Physically and as a squad, we were better prepared. Plato and Cebolinha also came in strong and contributed a lot in the second half.
Well, wasn't there in 19, but we arrived ready. We lost to Liverpool, which deserved 2023. In this case, right? It was after the season, after pre-season. The team arrived fresh, and unfortunately we were eliminated in the semi-finals with controversy, and we also arrived at the Club World Cup with a good squad and in good physical shape. I don't think there's any excuse when it comes to the physical part. Everything went right, everything was perfect, and now we're going to win. Who's better? There's no one. We don't have the excuse of the physical part.
Filipe here. Good evening, Filipe. We in Brazil aren't used to following Mexican soccer. I'd like to know, in your view as a coach, is it harder to prepare for the game when you don't have much information about the opponent? For example, if Flamengo beats Pyramide and faces PSG, I believe it's easier for you to watch PSG games because they're broadcast in Brazil. For you as a coach, it becomes harder to prepare for the game. For example, like today against Cruz Azul and this Saturday against Pyramide. Could you talk a bit about that? Thank you.
Well, we always watch when it's the Brazilian Championship or Libertadores. The games are more, you watch all these games during the week and keep following them, so you start to get an idea, a sense of how the team is playing. But today, with the platforms we have for studying, for how do I say it, on the internet, we have access to all the games from Cruz Azul in recent years, and also from the coach who was at Cruzeiro, so it wasn't any harder. The only difference is that you have to start from scratch, because since I didn't know much about Cruz Azul, you have to start from scratch, see what system they play with, you don't know anything, and then you have to start studying, and it takes a little more time. But today we have a lot of information, it's very accessible, everything to be able to study and prepare a good plan. Exactly like PSG, as you said, everyone watches, of course, everyone even knows the players' names. So, but also highlighting the difficulty it was to play against Cruz Azul, which has a spectacular squad with a lot of quality. They also have a budget that's not like ours, but it's similar. So they have significant financial power to sign players. And a coach who leaves you feeling uncomfortable on the field with the way he sets up the game.
Spanish Manuel Medina from Tijuana Sports for Mexico and the United States. Filipe, you mentioned this in Portuguese, but now I'm asking in Spanish. How did you see Cruz Azul especially after that gift they gave Flamengo on the first goal? But then they tried to make up for it. They went on the attack, got a goal that was offside, then got the goal that gave them a bit of peace of mind going into halftime. What did you think of Cruz Azul's effort to fight back? And were there moments when you could say they were a little bit better than Flamengo? In the end, you guys won, but just a little bit. Please tell me about them in Spanish. Thank you.
No, I have no problem saying the first half. Cruz Azul was much better than us, much better in all phases of the game, in the defensive phase, in the offensive phase. But it's true that there was a game plan with a high risk. Cruz Azul focused on playing every ball and rarely used long passes. That made pressing difficult since they sometimes escaped the pressure and there was too much risk. And like you said, there was a gift and we managed to score a goal. I felt that after the goal, the team was just a second late. We stopped pressing in the same way, but above all, we weren't playing with the same risk that Cruz Azul had. We couldn't keep the ball at our feet. The ball kept getting away from us, also because the ball is fast and slips away. That gave Cruz Azul a lot of presence. In the end, they didn't create clear chances, except for the goal, but they did have presence and made us suffer without the ball. I felt it was just a matter of time before we conceded. In the second half, we adjusted the team and it worked well. The team felt more comfortable and played better. We forced Cruz Azul to chase the ball, which their forwards aren't used to. And with that, we felt more comfortable and we won the match, I think, in a fair way.
Felipe, here is the electoral husband, Niels. In the new end-of-year intercontinental format, the South American team must play an extra match. And now the match is against Pyramids, who played yesterday and even rested some players, while Flamengo played today. What is the biggest challenge? Is it different from today's match? You had 4 days to prepare in training. You even had extra days to rest, and now you only have 2 training sessions, just 2 sessions. What's the main challenge of facing a theoretically more rested team, especially with Flamengo needing quick recovery? For this game, thank you.
Well, every game brings challenges and difficulties. It's true that now it's only 3 days, so some players might not fully recover, but the sacrifice has to be made. We will choose the players we believe are in the best condition to beat Pyramides. Since they're in the World Cup semifinals, I have no doubt they're a qualified team. And they beat Goalie, which is a great team in Arab football. And I have no doubt it's going to be very complicated. But that's the challenge we've been facing throughout the season. We're very used to having 2 days to prepare for the game, while our opponents have a full week. So we're going to face it with pride and the privilege of being able to be in the semifinals of this championship, which is so hard to have the opportunity to compete in.
Filipe, this is Beltrão from Casé Television. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Congratulations on the victory and another title, Filipe. I'd like to ask you to briefly talk about Plata. Because in these last few months, I mean, especially in the last month, he had 2 decisive red cards. The fans were a bit hard on him. Did you also come out in press conferences and defend him all the time? Today, he was among those who helped Flamengo turn the game around, especially after coming on. Flamengo improved greatly. So first, I wanted to know, what instructions did you give to Plata? Did you talk to him at halftime before he came on and played so well in the game? Thank you for highlighting his importance to Flamengo's squad.
The instructions are internal. I'm not going to reveal it because it's a game strategy, but Plata is a player who, in my opinion, does everything right. So he can have better days, he can have worse days, but he does everything his role asks him to do, whether it's on the right, on the left, or in attack. He's a very complete player, whom the coach admires a lot for his football, and at times the fans don't accept it, or don't like it, or boo him. And that's just how it is, because the coach likes him, and if the coach likes him, they're going to see him on the field many times, as long as he keeps doing everything he's been doing, which is first defending and giving his all for the team the way he always does. And besides that, the quality he has is really great. And the only thing he needs to improve is finishing more, because he knows how to do it, and he needs to regain that confidence to finish on goal.
FELIP, how are you? Good evening, Gabriel Othon from Placard Magazine. Filipe, I wanted to ask you more specifically about 2 players who, at least in my view, were the best in the game. Along with Arrascaeta, who were Eric and Varela, both of whom have been performing really well. Varela, in my opinion, was also the best player in the Libertadores final. How do you see today's game from these 2 players? And if you can, also send a message to the Flamengo fans who came all the way here. Today, we know that the attendance was low because it's an expensive and tiring trip. Recently, the Libertadores final took place, and it wasn't cheap. Thank you to the Flamengo fans who came to Qatar to support us.
Varela is in exceptional form right now, a very solid and reliable player. He defends impeccably, and with the ball, he's also going through a great moment. Eric is perhaps one of the most consistent players I've ever shared a locker room with, a super disciplined player, disciplined from the very first minute training starts. When it's time to warm up, he immediately stops talking, gets serious, and it shows later. The work on the field is paying off, right? And he's a player, like I've said 1,000 times, he's the heart of the team, and this is a message for the fans. I always like to show it on the field, and words are unnecessary.
All right, peace be upon you. Congratulations, Filipe. This might be your longest press conference.
Sorry, all right.
Okay, peace be upon you. Congrats, Filipe, maybe. Filipe, from being a great player to becoming a coach, it seems you will be a great coach. How do you describe your feelings at this moment? Second question, is Flamengo used to facing Arab teams? You played against Al Hilal, Al Ahli of Egypt, Al Ahli of Saudi Arabia, and Esperance de Tunis. In the last Club World Cup, how do you see the level of Arab teams, and where do you place them compared to, for example, North American clubs, Confederation of North, Central America, and Caribbean Association, football and European clubs? And thank you.
Peace be upon you. About the team, the Arab teams, for me, they are at an increasingly higher level. They are a very strong market. They are buying important players. And football, in fact, is very globalized. They are. The coaches are getting better and better. Football studies are getting better and better. And it's getting harder and harder to play because there are better and better players playing on the teams, right? So the level is always improving. Now, on top of that, there isn't much difference between the big teams and the small teams in terms of quality. Arab teams are always very competitive. They've always been physically very strong with a lot of endurance. And today they've combined economic power to also be able to hire and compete. So I don't watch the Arab leagues much, but I have no doubt that they're very balanced, on par with South American football. And I forgot the first one about the transition. Oh, okay, about the transition. I was very clear that I wanted to be a coach when I was a player. So it was very easy because I had the support of my family to start working as a coach. The club gave me an opportunity, opened its doors to me, and from then on, it's my duty not to disappoint them, right? So for me, the transition was very easy. Last question.
Hello, Philip. The question will be in Arabic, and Adam Al-Madib, a journalist from Carthage Plus Channel Tunisia, Philip greets you. To the Club World Cup and the Esperance-Tunis match. Of the players who stood out in the Esperance match, what are your thoughts on Youssef Al-Bilali? Did you see the last Tunisia versus Brazil match, Philip? What did you think of Tunisia's performance and which players stood out to you? Thank you.
I'm going to ask you to repeat the question because it wasn't clear. I think the translation I understood a little, but can you repeat it? Can you repeat the question, please? No, because I was too fast. Yes, from Esperanza, that one. Okay, well, from that team, I remember, I have a good memory, but I remember the left back the most. I don't remember the name of the left winger, left back, and also the defensive midfielder with the hair, what's his name? No, Esperanza from Esperanza. No. Okay, I remember those three players who are really good. That's what you asked, right? That was your question, right? Okay. And about the Tunisia team against Brazil? I didn't watch the whole game. We have a lot of games, and I didn't have time to watch it today. But as I said, I have no doubt that the national teams today are much better because almost all of their players are playing in European football or at a high level. So the national teams are getting stronger and stronger. We can see teams like Norway, like Morocco itself that are coming in strong, and Tunisia as well. They're always a tough team because they compete well, are physically strong, and have great endurance, making it complicated to play against them. Okay, in the end, everyone asked, right? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Coach. Congratulations. See you in the next one.
Simone Ledo, coluna do Fla Brasil. As Flamengo, did the Flamengo Mexico team and Flamengo play as you expected them to play?
Look, I think we see Flamengo in Mexico the same way people see them all over the world. I think that a few years ago, Flamengo changed from being just a popular and well-known team to becoming a very consistent project with a very strong investment on bringing in players of great quality. but with a very high standard regarding the recruitment profile and the building and design of the squad. And added to that, today they also have a great coach who, even though he's in his first process, you can tell he's one of those future coaches of the world football elite. And well, I think I'll repeat myself. All of that makes it hegemonic in the way it has been. They are the Libertadores champion with authority in a match that ended 1-1, but they were very dominant throughout the game. They win the Brasileirão with a couple of games to spare. And well, it's undoubtedly the true reflection of a team and an institution of a club that has a solid project at every level.